moves us into 3, 4. And it's just, like I said, a really quick graph that we're gonna look at. You don't have to draw the graph. I just put it up here so that we're gonna draw one in a minute, but I just put it up here so you can kind of see it. It's called a box plot. It looks really weird in my opinion as far as a graph goes. It doesn't look like what I might see on a normal graph, like a bar graph or a line graph. This one's not done exactly like I would have liked. You should have 5 points that are marked off on the graph. Okay. So what I'm going to ask you to probably write down is that a box plot is going to show, and it shows 5 numbers. It's going to show the minimum. It's going to show Q1. It's going to show the median, Q3, and the maximum. All right, so to do a box plot, you have to have those 5 particular values. We call that the 5-number summary. Okay, minimum, maximum, the 2 quartiles, and the median. And they go in order for the black dots that I drew on the graph. Okay, so like, and again, you don't have to draw this graph, but just look at it. Like this is your minimum, this is your Q1, this is your median, this is Q3, this is your maximum. Okay, so we basically plot those 5 points on the graph, and then we draw the picture around it. Okay, so we're going to take an example and just make sure that we can draw the box plot to go with it. All right. Got it ready? Okay. Okay, so our example says the number of meteorites found in 10 states of the United States is, and we've got our numbers, and we want to draw a box plot for the data set. All right, so maybe just jot down the numbers in your notes so that you've got them. And then we'll work on drawing our graph. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put the numbers in order because I know that that's going to make things a little bit easier for me to deal with. So I've got a 30, a 39, a 48, a 47, and a 48. I have a 78. 138, 138. 164, 213, and 296. 215 and 296. All right, and then remembering that I have to do my 5-number summary, I'm going to have to find the minimum, Q1, the median, Q3, and the maximum. So minimum and maximum are fairly easy, right? Especially if they're in order. You can see that the smallest value is 30. And the biggest value is 296. So those two should be easy. All right, do you remember what we found when we talked about the median? Do you guys remember what the median is? For median? The middle number, right, in the list? So let me see, middle number, so let's see, yeah, there's gonna be two numbers that we're gonna have to look at, right? We're gonna have to look at those two values, those are the middle two numbers, right? And remember that to find them, if it's the middle two, we add them together and divide by 2. Sort of averages them and gets us right in the middle. All right, so that's 83.5 for median. All right, so I'm going to let you guys work for just a couple of minutes on the quartiles. Okay, so we just went through that with the other problem. Remember, you're using your C formula for that. So I'm going to give you a couple of minutes and let you see what you come up with for Q1 and Q3. And then we'll check. Okay, so what did you put in for the Q1 for the N? For the N value, okay, 10, yes. All right, so, and then for the P? 25. Okay, so when you work that out, you should get 2.5, which you bump to 3.
And then the third number is 47.
Third number is 47, good. Right? Everybody agree with that? Okay, and then we're going to do the same thing for the Q3, except we're going to use 75 instead of 25. Okay, so we'll say 10 times 75 over 100
Is 7.5,
7.5,
which is 8.
which is 8,
And the eighth number is 164.
and the eighth number is 164. Good. All right. Anybody have a question with that? Sound okay with that? Okay. All right, so once we have that done, then we're basically ready to draw our graph. So we're going to come up with some sort of scale that we can use across the bottom for our x-axis. See about sketching this. All right, so I'm gonna draw a line there and I want to scale it off. My biggest value is 296, so I mean, I definitely don't want to count by like ones here, right? What do you want to count by? If we got to go all the way to 296, what do you want to use? I would probably do maybe 50s, maybe count by 50s. Well, we got to go almost to 300, right? Okay, so I'm going to mark it off as 50. There's nothing wrong with doing something else. Okay, you just don't want to do something so small here that you've got a million tick marks to have to mark off. Okay, so I'll just do that, 50 to 300. I should start with 0. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to now put a point at each of those 5 numbers. And there's nothing special about the height, but you want to get up enough on your paper that you can draw the box underneath it. So on notebook paper, I would say go up a couple of lines before you put your points, maybe 2 lines up. All right, so I'm going to put a point at 30. And then another one above the 47, and I have to estimate a little bit as to where those points are. And then I've got one at 83.5. 164. And then one at 296. So you draw your 5 points, try it. Mine aren't really that straight across, but you want to be as straight across as possible. All right, and then we're going to draw our box. The box goes through the quartiles. So through Q1, through Q3, draw a rectangle around it. Draw a line through the median, so it cuts the box into 2 pieces. And we connect those points. And again, this is going to show you some of the spread of the data set, depending on how big the box is and how big the sort of tail values are. It tells you, gives you a visual picture of how spread out the numbers are. Okay, if you're looking at the box, for example, remember that the box goes from Q1 to Q3. It goes from the 25th percentile to the 75th percentile. All right, everybody okay with that, what I'm saying there? So this is Q1. So this is the 25th percentile. And the other edge of the box is Q3. So that's the 75th percentile. So inside the box, you should have 50% of your data values. So it gives you an idea that, hey, 50% of my numbers are between like 47 and 164. Okay, so it gives you kind of an idea of how spread out those numbers really are. All right, any questions on drawing that graph?